Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Monday, April 23rd. We are on the European account now. We're not making a lot of progress, so we'll probably have a post show that we'll need to do. Let's see, we've got something we can trade out here. So win a game with a rogue or warrior, win a game with a paladin or warrior, win a game with a druid or hunter. So if we trade that one out, play twin minions that cost 2 and less. So I could probably do all 3 of these pretty easily. But honestly, all I need is a warrior victory. So 1 warrior victory gets 2 of these done, and we go over to the Americas account immediately. Here's a warrior. We're playing ranked warrior play. I've got tons and tons of news, even though I tried to curate some of this on Friday. By the time Monday ran around, there's still a bunch of garbage that came out. For instance, on the 23rd came out Trivia Vault Soccer Trivia, a company that's flooding Steam with trivia games that are exactly the same. One assumes that the trivia questions are different, but the games are the same, and they're asking you to spend $1.49 on it right now, 25% off to get it down to $1.49. But the graphics don't look good. With the announcement of You Don't Know Jack coming up to the next Jackbox, you would be really, really foolish, I think, to buy any other trivia game. And even if you were going to get a different trivia game, you probably don't want to play this one. I would imagine that there's a website out there, or you'd play like HQ or something, or to play trivia games, or just play Trivial Pursuit in the real world. So I'm not gonna stick with that game that long. Next we have a game called Baiko, B-A-I-K-O. It says it's a minimalistic mathematical puzzle in which there is a board with numbers. Every row and column is a mini puzzle in itself. The goal is to make the sum of the numbers in each row and column be equal to the number in the box. Okay. So this is sort of like Sudoku, the Japanese crossword puzzles. The only slight difference to it, I suppose. Like Sudoku starts a little bit easier than you might originally recognize, because it's always a 3x3 grid, and in that 3x3 grid, every number 1 through 9, I believe, is used only once, whereas in Baiko, it's a much larger grid, which could add some more challenge to it. And some Sudoku puzzles are really challenging, and some are rather easy. Now, this really looks like it's a 1-screen game, maybe 2 screens if you include the menu selector. It says the menu seems to be 5x5 up to 8x8. So there's a 5x5, a 6x6, and a 7x7, and 8x8. The problem with this game is it's 40% off for $1.79. Let's see, how many puzzles does it say it has? Because these might be randomized puzzles, or they might just be thought out puzzles. Like, it might be that there's only 4 puzzles in the entire game. That would be pretty crazy. Like, even the developer of this game barely wrote 3 sentences to describe his own game. It's a very simplistic game for too much money, so I can't recommend Baiko, B-A-I-K-O. This developer has made several other games that don't look that good either on Valve. Apparently, there's a game called Knife Battles that's $5.99, but it has $200 bit of DLC for Twitch integration. That is ridiculous. So I gotta see what this $200 does. This DLC gives you the opportunity to play with your viewers in the twitch.tv chat. Interesting. Wow, $200 for Twitch integration. Nobody's gonna fall for that. Next game we have is called Spice Arena. That's SP S period P period I period C period E no period Arena. It looks like a two-player platform battler game. The graphics are kind of interesting for this game, Spice Arena, because it is a hand-drawn watercolor aesthetic in the backgrounds. So some artist somewhere with, I would say, a high school level of watercolor painting was able to make this animation. And then the two characters that are moving around are just red and black blobs. See, no discount for $1.99, no reviews, no surprise there. This is not the kind of game that would sell to anybody. But I would say whoever did these watercolor art styles, that there is some weird way in which you could probably make a game with watercolor art styles and it work and look professional, but it not in this game. The gameplay itself is bad looking. All the menu looks bad. Moving on. Next game we have is called Call of Bitcoin. That's pretty much all you need to know. It's 99 cents. And wow, there's 3 suspicious positive recommendations. Let's see, what kind of game does this say it is? Action, adventure, casual, indie. So it's a platformer game with a double jump where you're jumping around as, I believe, a squirrel collecting bitcoins. So I don't think it really has anything to actually do with real bitcoins. I think it just has the word Bitcoin in the name to get people's attention. So yeah, I still would not recommend anybody playing a game with Bitcoin in the name. Let's see, this developer hasn't made anything else on Steam. Like, you're not going to get people's attention that way. And even if you get negative attention, there is a difference between negative attention and positive attention in the video game world and Valve and Steam. So, like, don't be annoying video game developers out there, video game publishers out there. Don't make these annoying bad games. Make something good. Wait until you have something good to sell. Right. This is probably why so many restaurants fail. Is in the first couple of years of starting, is that they don't have any good food or a good chef that can cook the food properly to taste well. But they somehow assume that there will just be an audience for their their content for their food when there really isn't. There we go. I'm gonna end this turn. Next game we have is called Deadly Tropics. It looks like it's an attempt to rip off Dead Island, which isn't a terrible game to rip off, but you would have to actually know what you're doing, and you'd have to be able to beat Dying Light, which the people who made the Dead Island 1 went on to making Dying Light and supporting it quite well. And this feels like this is more asset flips and the same zombie characters and the same animations. So that, yeah, this feels a lot like an attempt to make an asset flip game, not look like an asset flip game. It's 20% off for $2.39, which is probably pretty cheap for what most people would normally charge for these asset flip games, but it still doesn't work. Let's hit this and then attack here, and then attack here, then attack here. Yeah, I guess I have to just skip Deadly Tropics because there's not a lot of hope that it would be good, but there is room for another game like Dead Island that would be done right. Let's see. And this is 50, so there's really no reason to even do this. Let's just move over to the Americas account. That was short and simple. That's alright. Maybe then we won't have a post show because I'll get the Americas account done and we'll move on. Gamasutra has an article, the animation and game design details that make Iconoclast sing. Apparently it was a Twitch stream. Iconoclast seems like it's a game that doesn't immediately seem like it's interesting. Remember, this is a Gamasutra article, so this is probably the creators of the game Iconoclast. But maybe not. Oh, we do have a challenge a friend. And I'll have to put Tragic Master on blast because I tried to challenge a friend yesterday with him and he disconnected right at that point. So on my America's account I made a few wild things, but not a ton of them. Let's just do the Druid Helper. We don't really have to win. So the end of this article, so I guess this isn't the creator of Iconoclast, says, but in terms of the game, I mean, it's an action game. I want the action to have bosses that accompany that field that I've created. I think the short answer is that it's just like bosses. Laugh. I just like bosses. They feel good to play. So, are they saying they put bosses in the Iconoclast? I guess they did. I don't really have a problem with them putting bosses in Iconoclasts or any game. So yeah, that was an article I didn't get the full story on, and then I closed the tab because I didn't really care. Probably was just advertisement. I'm still gonna stick with that theory. Next game we have on Steam is called Mystery Tales Alaskan Wild Collector's Edition. It is your standard adventure / hidden object game that we've seen, published by Big Fish Games, the #1 filler upper of Steam, because they always are filling filling Steam with more of these hidden object games for way too expensive. $12.99, no discount. Like every week, there's at least one game coming out from the Big Fish game. Here's next tab was the ethics policy for techraptor.com. Oh, it's techraptor.net. I was going to read that later. I don't have time to read it now. Again, looking for feedback. Should I introduce techraptor.net as a valid news source? Do you have any other suggestions for any other news source? We already talked about this. Did we already talk about the Summer Games Done Quick 2018 schedule? Let's see. I don't think we did. Let's see. I think we actually did. So I'm just gonna say yes, the Summer's Games Done Quick schedule is out there if you want to watch that stuff live. I personally find it a lot easier to pick and choose what I actually want to watch through their Summer Games Done Quick YouTube channel and watch things a little bit later. That also makes it a lot easier to skip things. Like, if you think about it, the content during Summer Games Done Quick, Awesome Games Done Quick, is wasting a lot of the viewer's time. There's a lot of wait times and breaks and setup in between each stream. But then there's also a lot of times when people are just kind of grinding. Like, it's not always interesting to watch from the beginning to the end of a game, even if you're using cheats, even if you're speedrunning. There's points where when I watch it on YouTube, I'm double clicking to skip 10 seconds forward, skipping 5 minutes forward. I'm doing everything in my power to try and have the maximum amount of time used efficiently. Try not to waste my time. Next game on Steam is called Police Patrol. Is this an asset flip game? Probably. While you're driving around a police car, it says action, indie, casual, racing, strategy. Honestly, I don't feel like a Police Quest style police on patrol game would be that interesting. I don't think Police Quest itself was actually that interesting of a game. Police Patrol doesn't seem like it really is even that. It seems more like you're just driving as a police officer crashing into people. It's 30% off for 69 cents. It's part of some bundles, like 2 different bundles. Let's see. It's from a publisher that has all kinds of bad games on Steam. Like, you could just go through the entire list of publishers and you could look at the entire list of publishers that have ever published on Steam and kick out a significant amount of them for just putting garbage on Steam. Like, not a single one of their car games is even worth mentioning. There were some real racing games that came out a few years ago, maybe half a decade ago, where you would play like The Crew. Maybe you can play as the police. That would sort of make sense in being a feature in a much larger racing game, but I don't think racing as the police is that interesting and can keep people's attention. There's a not recommended review for this game. It says it has some positives, but with only 4 levels, there's not much to do. There are games better than that are free. So yeah, I will leave it at that. Police Patrol, another game. Like very, very low percentages of games that that are actually worth wishlisting. In fact, so low, I don't believe we've run into a single game so far. And this is my third recording today. I don't think we've run into a single game that breaks down as to one that should have been wishlisted. Let's do this, and then this, and then this, and then this, I guess. Next game we have is called Neon Void Runner. It has a problem of black backgrounds and being monochrome in that it's this neon blue, shades of neon blue. Looks like an infinite runner platformer with the ability to shoot forward, but not actually, I think, break too many things with your ability to shoot in a forward direction. Let's see, 30% off for $1.39. It's another game from the same publisher, Otaku Maker SARL. Its developer is Falco Software. What's weird about this publisher and developer is they're putting out some very random games that doesn't strike to me as the same group of people making the same games. And they're just trying to flood the market. 30% off for $1.39. Let's see. What do we want to do? Alright, close that tab, move on to the next one. Next game we have is called Bitcoin Night, which, again, anything with Bitcoin in the name, you might as well just ignore. What's weird about this is, despite its bad name, it looks like somebody is trying to make something along the lines of Ghosts and Goblins. Like they put some effort on the life and, I guess, experience bar or a stamina bar. It's early access action adventure. There's an actual trailer on it, an actual menu in the trailer. Why you're specifically showing the menu in the trailer, I don't know. Let's see. But there's not quite enough here for this early access game. Even though it's 10% off for 89 cents, the fact that it says it has 5,000 achievements, which is not true because it includes 3,655 achievements. So they've gotten to the point where they're like just lying. It says 5,000 achievements coming soon. Like, this is an achievement game. And that sucks because it looks like there's some assets here. Maybe they're asset flips, but looks like you could have made something good. Let's go and play this. And hit this. And hit this. This. That. That. And that. Detroit Become Human goes gold. Demo launches April 24th. That is interesting, but apparently you can also ask Alexa for guidance and information. At least that's the subtitle for this Gematsu article. But what's interesting here is this Gematsu article is probably going to be the only article that even bothers to mention any of this. Detroit Become Human comes out on PS4 May 25th, because in the meantime, I think somewhat fairly, and this also sounds, to my understanding, kind of just the way things work in the French press. The Quantic Dreams, the company that made Detroit Become Human, is suing the French press for defamation, effectively, because of them running stories that working in Quantic Dreams was a toxic work environment. And I think they might have some standing. Like, this potentially might be the same thing as the Channel Awesome thing. This might be the next step towards infiltration and trying to destroy the video game industry from the inside, or destroy everything from the inside, frankly, is have people who are upset for one reason or another work for a company and then come out and say that company is a toxic work environment. Honestly, by my own definition, I would say almost every work environment is slightly toxic to extremely toxic. Like, it's just people trying to work together, so there's going to be a little bit of conflict, there's going to be little problems, there's going to be issues. You have to be realistic there. But particularly in the example of Quantic Dreams, from what I remember off the top of my head, this was literally the IT department got fired for refusing to do their jobs because they were trying to get somebody else fired, and because they were making funny images, and then some of the less funny versions of the images were found by the IT department but never shared publicly. Like, they photoshopped the head of the CEO of Quantic Dreams onto the body of like a porn star, a male porn star, and the IT department got like super butthurt about it. I mean, you can't really say anything out about other than that. And then they stopped doing their job, and then they got fired for not doing their jobs, and then they leaked the story that got put out. And then a lot of people ran with it because they felt like that was probably true. Or they felt like that would get them some coverage. But now, ignoring the past, because I think we'll probably even see Quantic Dream win some kind of relief in the French court systems for the articles that were published. But just the fact that they are suing a press agency somewhere is going to make particularly the Western video game reporters, who for the most part are not super ethical, they're going to take a position and take a side with the French journalists. And because of that, they are going to specifically not bother or even try to talk about the release date or talk about Detroit Becoming Human. This will be the next thing that I rant about, almost certainly, is that after this game comes out and you start seeing reviews on May 25th, you'll probably see not that many reviews, and you'll probably see a lot of unfairly negative reviews for the game. just because the video game media will be like, how dare you attack the media? We're always right, we're always perfect. This is, again, what Gamergate was, so this could be the potential of a new Gamergate, that where someone was criticizing a journalist, several journalists who were sleeping with the creator of Depression Quest, and because instead of the rest of the journalists going, you know what, you probably, that is unethical, you shouldn't be sleeping with, and then writing articles about Depression Quest and not disclosing things at the very least. Instead, Kotaku and Polygon, I'm sure, was in it too, and I think even Giant Bomb was somewhat involved in it. They all decided to defend what they had been doing for decades that had been wrong. And I imagine that's very similar to what's going to happen here. Well, that was a challenge of friend for an 80. And we played a decent number of Battlecry things. Let's see, so we need to switch this one around. I should have done that before. Winter games, any class, win 3 games with the Hunter Mage. Not too bad. And we're already at ranked 20, so we might as well just continue to try. So let's try the Secrets Hunter deck. Moving on to the next article, PC Gamer has Darkest Dungeon class mod, adds Dark Souls Dark Wraith. As somebody who hasn't gotten around to playing Darkest Dungeon, I don't particularly like the idea of a mod adding even more classes, particularly classes from Dark Souls, but I imagine I'm certainly the opposite of the target market for that. I imagine for people who have played through Darkest Dungeon all the way through and they're ready for something new, a new mod would be interesting. Of course, the question is, are people still playing Darkest Dungeon that much? Maybe some people are, maybe some people aren't. Let's see. Tragic Master says, thank you for the game. You milled my cube I needed for the 1-turn kill. When I get 6 Ragnarosses on the board. Smiley face, good game. Yep. That was what I was trying to do, was mill him, but I'm not sure I actually would have succeeded if he was not helping me. Eurogamer has an article. A new Doom movie is in the works. 13 years after Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson starred in Doom, a new movie based on id Software famous first-person shooter is in the works. So almost certainly it's not going to be The Rock again. Because there was that little kerfluffle where somebody said that The Rock's latest movie, Rampage, was way better than Doom, and he agreed, and id Software is like, come on, Dwayne, you were in that movie, you worked for us, don't spit on your own work. So the question is, can you get a good movie out of Doom, or is it just a cheap license to do monsters in a space station? I mean, just to do an Aliens ripoff and have maybe a little bit of legal protection to not claim that there's going to be an alien, that it's an Aliens ripoff. Not that there's plenty of movies out there that are effectively just doing Aliens ripoffs and that's it. What was that? The Cloverfield Paradox on Netflix probably could be called an Aliens ripoff if I was to guess. I watched The Arrival this weekend, and boy, is that an artsy movie. It's not... It's too slow of a movie, though. Like, I think they needed to speed it up. I think they needed to probably put some more twists in it, put some more characters in it. Mostly a 2 or 3 stage film, so the budget was probably cheaper than you might think. But a Doom movie, what can you really do about it? Let's see. Let's see. Here's the exact Twitter thing. Dwayne the Johnson goes, "Wow, very cool Rampage news. Not pointing to the scoreboard yet, but it seems we may have finally broken the dreaded video game curse. And remember, I starred in the stinker Doom, so #1, so I have lived thy curse." And then Doom just tweeted him, "Dwayne, period." So I guess they just are calling him out. Let's see if a minion died this turn. So it costs 1. So we'll do that. And then we'll do this and this. And then the turn. Yeah, I don't know how you tell a story in Doom when even the game itself of Doom didn't want to really tell a story. Seems kind of pointless. And in all seriousness, if you're going to spend the budget to make monster movies, why make a Doom monster movie when you could remake several other of the like NBC classic Universal monster movies, or you could which they I guess have given up on that now, or you could have done a Hellraiser movie that was decent, or a Clive Barker based movie of any of his stories or any of his ideas. Why not bring out some of the characters from like the Sandman series? There's a couple monsters I think you could probably get in that. Let's see. Yeah, these video game license. I think they probably should just stop with them. Like, it just doesn't work. Or if you're gonna video game license something, do the Dig. Like, you could make a movie based on the Dig. It basically was a movie in the first place. Do some of these walking simulators. Do The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. That's pretty much a straightforward story. Moving on, Gematsu has Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet DLC Ambush of the Imposters launching April 26th in Japan. Sword Online Fatal Bullet is available now for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, I believe worldwide. So some more DLC for anybody who likes the worst part, potentially. No, I can't say that. That's wrong. Clearly, the Alpha and Online section of Sword Art Online is worse than Fatal Bullet. The second worst out of 3 parts that I can think of Sword Art Online. Frankly, as a game, I would still prefer .hack/ in those many crazy games over Sword Art Online. I mean, you could make a good game based on the concept, but you would just be making a good RPG, a fast-paced RPG. Moving on. PC Gamer has an article, Yuko's YOKU Island Express, the Sonic Spinball meets Studio Ghibli side-scroller, has a release date. First I've heard of this game. Let's watch this trailer. Let's skip through it and see how much gameplay this is. I may have talked about this game. It's due out May 9th, and it's going to cost $19.99. It looks good, actually. just kill this guy. Yeah, I've may have finally found, after well over 2.5 hours of gameplay, I may have finally found something worth playing. This pinball Metroidvania adventure game, Yuku's Island Express, coming out May 29th. This is one I think a lot of people are going to miss, because I haven't seen any coverage for it. I could see it getting pretty annoying if it's too long of a game, but I think it's good. And I really liked Sonic Spinball for the brief opportunities I had to play it. I probably would have gotten bored with it eventually pretty fast, but I like the idea of mixing Spinball and a character, mixing pinball and a character that can sort of move sometimes. Let's see. If I do this, and then this, and then that. Next game we have on Steam is called Tennis King VR. This is from the same developer who brought you Archery Kings VR and Ping Pong Kings VR, Badminton and Squash Kings VR. It's all the same program with just a different game built around it. It actually looks pretty good, but I believe the prices are a little too high. $14.99 plus a several $100 VR headset to implement the same concept over and over again. You're swinging your arms and picking, playing against AI. Although, to be fair, the tennis version of this game will probably catch more people's attention than the badminton version of the game. It's really, the Kings VR series should be something that Oculus Rift just buys and gives away for free with the purchase of an Oculus Rift. That was the genius of the Nintendo Wii, is that everybody got Wii Sports and everybody played Wii Sports to learn how to use the controllers. Well, I can't really do anything, so this is just a race for the face, and I'm going to lose. Gamasutra has a job listing for Sucker Punch game, Sucker Punch Productions. If you want to be a lighting artist, let's see, Sucker Punch Productions. Let's see what they made. I've heard of them. They produced the Sly Cooper series and Infamous. So, like, well, I wonder what they're working on now. Is it a new Infamous for PlayStation? That would make sense. When I go to their website, it's a game called Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima is the game that I guess they're working on. Yeah. Infamous First Light, Infamous Second Son, Infamous Festival Blood, Infamous 2, Infamous 1, and the Sly Collection. So this new game, Ghost of Tsushima, is... Let's see what this is all about. So close. So close. If I could just do 2 more damage. Let's watch the trailer. And yeah, this will be a PlayStation game. Yeah, it seems like you'll be playing as like a samurai in an epic, like, ancient samurai times. Yeah, we'll see how well a Seattle-based Western company can make a samurai game. But it looks like a AAA game. But yeah, I could certainly see why they would want a lighting director, because you're going to be in some dark areas with dramatic lighting. Alright, that didn't work. What was the other thing we needed? Mage. If hunter doesn't work, mage. See, I made a freeze elemental and then a custom mage, a secret mage. I think we should play casual and we should move on. Next game we have is called Catanoid. C-A-T-A-N-O-D. Now, I believe this is supposed to be like electricity. So, you're supposed to connect positive particles to negative particles to positive particles to negative particles to balance things. It's 40% off for $1.79. It has no reviews on it. The problem with this game is it looks like it's a one-screen game and it's super simple. It's just labeled as indie. It's from a developer who's made nothing else. It's from a publisher who's made nothing else. This must be a HS replay deck. I don't think I'd ever make a deck like this. Like, you basically, if you're gonna do electronics, you need just like an electronics education simulator software. You might as well just jump into actually learning electronics instead of having a middle ground game that is only introducing or playing around one simple concept of electronics. And electronics are a pretty complicated concept, so it says it has 30 plus levels, which isn't much. Oh, by the way, right now, Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition is 50% off. If anybody wants to get that. I believe I already have that myself, but I'll double check, I guess. Just open that in a new tab. Yeah, this isn't enough of a pitch for that value, for that price. Just keep on playing. Freeze the menu. If it's already frozen, destroy it. Okay. Let's end the turn. I may still have a ton of news. Your Gamer has an article, The Unlikely Origin of Street Pass and a Mario DS game you never knew about. There's something the CEO Iwata wants to tell you personally. Let's see. Then it seems like it goes on for several paragraphs. So, yeah, there's a whole article here. And frankly, I don't care about where the Street Pass or a Mario DS game came from enough to really care. Let's see. We'll hit this. And this. And we'll just go ahead and hit this. Rock Paper Shotgun has an article. House Marquee hints at Battle Royale flirtation with Storm Divers. See, I guess I kind of have to applaud Rock Paper Shotgun because I only get like one of their article every other days. So they are not just flooding Twitter with articles. Now, here's the question. When is Storm Divers coming out? Like, there's no announcement date. Looking at a trailer that seems to be mostly just showing background areas and not much anything else. It's just showing empty forests. By the time Storm Divers comes out, it's very possible the Battle Royale genre will have come and gone. Let's play this. Now you have 3 random mage cards. Next game we have on Steam is just called Downtown. And this looks really good, but I suspect it's still just an asset flip. It's people running around mostly an empty city that looks pretty good. Let's see. Early access indie action simulation RPG. Here it is. The description. You move to live in the city downtown. Try to get out of poverty in the city, which is ruled by the police and the mafia. It's just an excuse to have people running around. It claims to be rated teen for teen. Early access 10% off for $15 and 29 cents. Let's see. Reviews. Not recommended. You can't turn off monitor blur. There are no settings. The only server has 0 people and 180 ping from the east coast of the US. I would recommend just playing Gary's mod than this piece of blank that the devs call a game. Instead of being downtown, you should call it a game. Call this game Down in the Trash Can when it plays. Next not recommended review. Game is a piece of garbage. Quickest refund in my entire life. 0 out of 10 for the motion blur. Wow. So not only are you getting an asset flip garbage game, you're getting a lot of motion blur, which nobody likes. Let's see. Am I hitting this? Oh, I should have just played that. That was a mistake. Next game we have on Steam is called Kitten Life Simulator from Playloft. Now, Playloft has made some games to the point where I at least know their name. But actually, I guess maybe I'm thinking of a different company because mostly it was just neutral rated games. Here. So it's like Goat Simulator, except for you're playing as kittens and the graphics don't look that good. It does seem like it might have a little bit of ideas behind it and be a little bit more cartoony and fun, but it's 30% off for $3.49. Let's see if anybody actually has let's see. Add some mage cards into my hands. See if anybody's bought this game and reviewed it. It's got a lot of screenshots and advertising shots that aren't screenshots. And it's got 2 positive reviews and that's it. But when you look at the actual screenshots versus the advertising pictures, you can definitely see this is lower quality than what they're advertising. I would like to see something like a game like this come out. I mean, Sweary's been trying to make a kitten life simulator for quite a while. Let's just do this. And then this. And then that. Well, that worked. Two more victories. Steam, I bet, won't recommend me any kind of other kitten-related games. The Bad Rat Show, which is allegedly one of the worst games ever, or seems like people really hate it. I'm gonna have to play it I imagine. Just for as bad as everybody else is saying it. Yeah, I have to give Kitten Life Simulator a pass. I'll keep my eyes out for a good one. Even Goat Simulator, though, to be fair, isn't really a good game. So, no real surprise that there's not been any great animal simulator games on PC. Most of them, I imagine, would only come out for like a Nintendo genre, like a Nintendo console. And see, I may, just maybe, out of news, so that'll be interesting. I'm looking at PC Gamer hawking things. You can get a Kingston A400 240 gigabyte SATA 3 SSD for $70 at Newegg, which is probably close, if not exactly the amount you'd pay any other day. I'm thinking I do need another SSD hard drive, and it's probably not going to be that big, because I need somewhere between 120 and 240 gigabytes just to have extra space for footage. I've got tons of Hearthstone footage I need to upload, so there's a decent chance I won't even really play Darksiders 2 well, tomorrow or later today. Probably not later today at all. I'm just still gonna try and slightly recover from an ear infection. It's probably not the smartest idea to wear headphones even now, which locks in moisture and just makes it worse, I'm sure. PC Gamer has an article, Help Demons Come to Terms with Their Crappy Jobs in the Doom mod Mr. Friendly. What does this really do? Like, So I don't know what you're doing. It seems like you're given little quests in Doom to specifically keep the monsters in Doom 1, the original Doom game, happy. So it says like locate one demon jacket, hunt down one nice app, find one boom, find 3 fanny packs, find 3 things. So you're collecting pretty much the same things that you would collect if you're playing as the bad guy in Doom, except for you're helping them. In actual practical playability, I think you're mostly just going to be wandering around Doom levels as before, just not shooting now, which really takes all the fun out of playing Doom. Alright. We'll play this to freeze them, and then we'll just place this. And then we'll attack here, and then the turn. Let's see. Cold Iron Studios, based in San Jose, California, is looking for an associate producer. Let's see. Cold Iron is seeking an experienced associate producer to join us in creating a shooter set in the Alien universe for consoles and PC. minimum of 2 years industry experience. Seems like there's really no actual degree requirements as far as education. Interesting. Interesting. Let's look at Cold Iron Studios and see what games they're made. Cold Iron Studios is a division of Fox Next Games, so this is an Aliens game, almost certainly. So the Fox wants to make an Aliens game. I guess that's not super surprising since there's talk and attempts to make a Aliens game. But their website really just says we're hiring in careers. So they're hiring a lot of people. No, it's not a terrible job for a newbie. Like, you're probably going to get laid off eventually anyways, so you can screw up pretty well in a job like that, and nobody's going to care too much. So that might be a nice entry level into the game industry type job. You're going to be funded well by Fox, at least better than most video game companies, I would assume. Probably going to make something in VR, if I was to guess. Let's see, do I really want to play Meteor? Or do I want to play more Elementals? I can do this. And then I can do this. And then the turn. Next game we have on Steam is just called Minesweep. Minesweep. It's from a developer who has made a bunch of just low quality, maybe not fake games, but low quality games. The thing about making a Minesweeper game is there's already a Minesweeper game on Steam that I covered that's pretty good. So you don't need more than one, particularly when you're making this game that does not look like it's a real improvement in any way whatsoever. It's 40% off for 59 cents. It says it's early access. Why does it need to be early access for a Minesweeper game of all the games in the world that you should be able to have completely finished? Arguably, maybe Tabletop Simulator is not the one game you would want. Man, I wish I could kill this guy and the other guys, but whatever. Like, I don't think Tabletop Simulator works well as a Minesweeper game, but there's definitely one I already own. Let's see. There's 4 negative reviews. None are in my language, according to that. Let's see. A first negative review is not worth the money, at least yet. Even on hard, it's not hard. It's only bigger, and that's all. No achievements, no quests. I play Minesweeper on Windows 10. I have, unfortunately, more motivation, and I also don't think the graphics look nice. Everything is plain. And let's see. The rest of them are Japanese negative recommendations, and I wholeheartedly agree with the negative recommendations. This is not the Minesweep for you. Let's see. Play this. Summon an elemental. And all the elementals will have life still. This. And this. And this. And this. And into turn. PC Gamer has an article, My Little Blacksmith Shop is relaxing and overwhelming at the same time. That's interesting. There's far too many games now where you play an RPG and a shopkeeper. Like, just too much of that is happening. And in this one, it feels like you're playing sort of an asset flip game with this crafting mechanic as a mandatory thing you have to do because you're the blacksmith. And so you're crafting items and giving them to customers. And I don't know if you actually ever leave your shop in this game. Seems like it'd be a pretty boring job that doesn't look that good. Yeah, why do you want to do a job in a game? Speaking of stupid games, next game we have on this list is called Dear Leader. Came out April 20th. I wanted to see if this would get flagged by now, and it hasn't. It hasn't gotten flagged. It's yet another Kim Jong-un game. Like, why do people keep doing this? This is stupid. 40% off for $5.39. There's clearly like one person or 20 people on Twitch or Steam that are just playing every single Kim Jong-un game they can get their hand on. And I should have played this. Totally should have played that. That was stupid of me. Like, there's one negative review. Says it's fine, I guess. Go look at my YouTube channel. PC Gamer has an article. Through the Ages is a superior civilization building game. When does it come out? It looks like a very complicated game, but I might get into it. It looks like it's a board game. Yeah, this is part of them playing board games and video games. So yeah, you could read that article if you want to. Alright, that was not the victory I wanted, but I'm gonna stick with Frost Mage, Frost Elemental, because I think there's actually ways to succeed with this deck. Here we have a game from April 20th called Final Battle. It says it has nudity, sexual content, RPG, adventure things, adventure and casual gameplay. It looks like an RPG maker. To be fair, though, this is actually good animation when it zooms in and shows the characters. And the characters are in scantily clad clothing, the main female character. It seems like you'd be playing something like Final Fantasy 1, 2, or 3, some of those early ones, with the characters modded so that their armor clothing is more scantily clad than normal. Problem with any game like this is you're gonna put out so much effort to see so little. It's from a developer who has only made this game on Steam. It's only got 7 achievements, so it's not an achievement hunter. 20% off for $5.59. Let's see. Is there some kind of nude patch mentioned in the description? Let's scroll down. Doesn't seem like there is anything. Just keep on playing over here too. There's only one positive review. It says, very nice short game, awesome character artwork, and a lot of fan service, nothing hardcore though. The short, arid dialogues are also well done. My only complaints are it's a bit too short and needs more towns and NPCs because the naked comments are so fun to read. Lol. Can't wait for the next game from this developer. See, if I was of the theory, and this would be a very misguided theory, that YouTube was going to let up on its demonetization stuff. I could see myself playing a game like this that promises me or comes close to promising me that it will walk up to the line but not cross whatever YouTube's line is. The problem is YouTube is always changing its line and not telling me what its line is. And if you're telling me this is a short RPG experience, it then gets on a list of potential RPG games I might play. Although the real question is, why would I want to play this versus Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3? Some of those early games, some of those games that may have been remastered, some of those games that will have better stories. And frankly, if this game is just going to be a tease with the nudity, then why? Who wants to watch that? Yeah. It's really, really hard to justify any of this. Like, a game that's short, it's hard to justify. A game that I couldn't put coverage on YouTube. But it does look good. So I do have to applaud Final Battle for at least not having the low quality animation that we tend to see when people make these. And it still feels like it's an RPG Maker game. And I think that there's a lot of argument to say this is still going to just be an RPG Maker and it's not going to have enough effort for it. So yeah, I gotta close that one. Princess Maker 5 is coming to PC via Steam this April. This is following the releases of Princess Maker Refine, which is a remake of Princess Maker 1, Princess Maker 2 Refine, and Princess Maker 3. So I guess at some point we missed Princess Maker 4, or they didn't make a 4 because they didn't want to use the number 4, because the number 4 sounds like the word for die in Japanese. Let's see. This would not work well. I didn't do that right either. I should have used the coin and done that. So I'm just kind of in the turn. What makes Princess Maker as a series notable is it's developed by Gainax, the creators of Neon Genesis Evangelion and Gurren Lagann. It's a daughter-raising simulator game where you're going through the life cycle of a princess and you're scheduling out what she's going to spend her day on, whether she's going to go do archery training or maths or things like that, and that will give you one of multiple endings on what kind of princess she turns out to be, where there, at least in Princess Maker 3, was an ending where she could be a pure saint, or she could be a complete devil, and all kinds of endings in between. You kind of would need a walkthrough in a modern time to play a game like this. This was a game that made a lot more sense in the 80s and 90s when you only had a very limited number of games and an almost infinite amount of time. The other thing that makes Princess Maker sort of nefarious is that there was some kind of nude mod or nude Easter egg in Princess Maker. So you've got this princess who was naked, but I mean, that was, to my recollection, as far as it ever went, there was nothing actually sexual in it. Which that gets into the Japanese like bathing together stuff, and it's just how much the West overreacts to certain things. Like, if you're coming into a Princess Maker game for nudity, you're going to be sorely, sorely disappointed. But it is a notable series. Hey, I finally found a game that got kicked off Steam. I don't know what it was called, but when I clicked on the tab and it reloaded, as it does for my Chrome browser, it reloaded back to the Steam website, Steam main store, which tells me that game has been removed. Or moved. Hero power also freezes people. Let's see. Start with this. Do this. And we've got to take some people out. Freeze this guy. Kill this one. Play this. I think my hero power freezes other people. It does, but I had already used it. Darn it. We have a game on Steam called Edvog Explorer game. Looks like garbage. It's a 3D, like, flying around a 3D maze game. This looks like a 90s attempt at something nobody's ever seen before, and I can kind of tell you from the look of it, it didn't succeed. It says it's a casual video game like no other, an amazing indie game. Test your gaming skills. A special third-person camera view, original levels, and good graphics for smooth gameplay. It says it's a 3D player action simulation. How can it be action when you say there's no violence in it? Like, explain that one to me. I'm not going to immediately say that's not true. I'm just going to say I would like an explanation. Well, whatever. This game looks like garbage. It's 40% off for $1.79. It's got no reviews. No surprise there. It came out on the 18th of November. Then I think I already covered this game. Rogue Buddies Aztec Gold. It came out the 20th. It has no reviews. It looks like a Terraria clone, except for your side-scrolling and platforming. It has, I guess, the Terraria artistic style, but it's more about running and gunning and more like a Contra game. $2.99. Let's see. There's one positive review, and that's it. So that's not worth anything. Let's close that. And that puts me at the Humble store. I'll go ahead and greet him. Let's see, the strategy bundle ends in 16 hours. And the Vegas Pro software bundle ends in 1 day. And I guess we're just waiting for the next bundle. I haven't bought a bundle in 3 or 4 months at this point. But I mean, I have plenty of games too, so it's hard to really make an issue about that. It's just kind of, I want to always increase my list of games I have. Let's go back to see if we got some other Hunter games. I really wonder, maybe I should just play Wild Casual, Secret Hunter, like, or maybe play Ranked. Even since I'm so low at Ranked on Wild, that might be helpful. So we're back to my Twitter account, and let's see. I probably I probably need to get rid of Tim Schafer's Twitter feeds. He just doesn't post enough about Double Fine, the company he runs, and posts a little bit too much about other things that are not video game related in any real way. So this is an all secrets deck designed to play secrets. So let's get rid of these two because we don't need those. Apparently Star Trek Anniversaries just launched. It's on Steam, which seems to be like a card-based game. Interesting. We'll look at that. Let's see. Play this in the turn. If this girl stays alive. Telltale Games might be another one to mute, because they certainly post a lot of, they retweet a lot of people that that post about The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us. There we go. 5, 6. 5, 6, and 4 secrets. Apparently the decent successor Overlord is releasing next month. Descent being a old game. That was a nice try. Trying to see if there's any real news. Otherwise, I think we can probably just go into a little bit of a silent post show. It's probably not going to go too long. Maxis renames Sims 4 in-game insane trait to erratic. Why? I know the reason why. You gotta know the reason why. There's some offended person somewhere was offended by the trait in The Sims being labeled insane instead of erratic. And it's like, and I'm sure some other person will be offended with this new change, and it will just never stop. I don't even care about The Sims. Sims is a pretty awful game. Let's see, well, I need to be able to play a secret to upgrade this, and since I'm full on secrets, I cannot play anymore until one of these triggers. Let's see, Xbox games for gold for May includes Vanquish, Metal Gear Solid 5, and more. According to PC Gamer, I really don't care about that. Let's see, the $2 million PUBG Global Invitational 2018 is coming to Berlin in July. Let's see. I saw a lot of people still doing the GameStruck 4. I still don't feel like I could narrow it down to 4 games and be accurate or reasonable. There you go. So next turn I can play that. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna win here. New Dragon Ball Fighters DLC character has been revealed, according to GameSpot. Nobody that I follow even cares. Let's go ahead and do this, and then this, and then the turn. PC Gamer says, does Braid deserve its status as the iconic breakthrough indie game? I imagine they will say yes. I think so too, even though I have almost a personal problem with Braid in that they put music into it that they then content ID'd and claimed like crazy and wasted an entire series I had made. Honestly, I could probably go back and play Braid and I believe another game that was made by the same company now and not care about it since I'm not monetized anyways. But it left such a bitter taste in my mouth. I don't care to cover games that aren't going to let me at least get a few pennies back when I could get a few pennies on ad revenue for the effort I was putting in to criticize and create content based on their content, create derivative works. Let's see, play this and this in the turn. It'd be funny if I lose here. I suppose it's possible it could happen. Still scrolling down. There's a stunning sci-fi shooter called Beacon that launches next week. I think we'll talk about a lot of this Wednesday. This and this in the turn. So 2 hours ago, Resident Evil Biohazard 5 number 15 aired on my channel. That's one of the series that is now airing on a daily pace because it was just such a long series. So you may have missed some on the weekend if you're trying to keep up on that. This is amazing and indicative of a larger problem and scary. The Hearthstone executive producer, Hamilton Chu, has left Blizzard. So Ben Brode may be taking a lot of people with him, or the important people with him. So, like, the thing here is my tinfoil hat determination was that Ben Brode was fired when he was told, I suspect, to fire a significant portion of the rest of the team, and he refused, and then he got fired. So now I suspect that we're gonna find more people are going to leave with him. Man, I really did lose. Interesting. Or not interesting. Mid-range hunter at rank 25. Let's see. YouTube creators congratulating Maya's World and Monday Motivation for getting an award. Yep. PC Gamer says Tyler Ninja Blevins has broken his own Fortnite streaming record with 667,000 concurrent viewers. I imagine he'll probably break his own record multiple times over and over until something happens. Still scrolling down for new news. And then earlier, YouTube creator says, let's give Ashley Smith some new faves. Who do you recommend to post on a regular? Like, so YouTube, at least on its Twitter thing, feed is definitely picking and choosing winners and losers on who they want to be popular. One of the things that the Creator Studio, YouTube Creator Studio, was talking about is what the new dashboard for YouTube's video manager should be. Because right now, with the current dashboard, it is the most useless thing. It's not part of your workflow at all. You don't go to it. There's never any new news. There's never any actionable information on it. You just don't even look at it. You're not even on that page. Whereas a proper dashboard would be surmising, look, you got this many impressions, this many views, this many click-throughs, this many dollars in revenue. You've got these comments that you need to deal with. These are the videos that aired recently. These are the videos that are scheduled to air later. Like, the dashboard should be your quick reminder of you've got all these things to work on, and it really wasn't. And one of the main things about the dashboard is there's no single place, and that's why I'm talking about the YouTube Creator Studio and YouTube Creator's Twitter feed and Susan Wojcicki's feed and the YouTube blog that I don't even follow. Like, there's not a single place to get information about, are the servers having trouble uploading videos, or is it my internet? Like, should I try to live stream right now, or is it going to be really bad? Is there anything anybody could do to improve or at least know what's going on with YouTube? Are comments delayed? Are notifications delayed? Or are the servers and uploads delayed? Is there a known issue that's happening? Like, all of that should be on the dashboard of the new one. And at the very least, they are pandering to creators and saying, yes, we've realized that that's the case. Apparently there's a new Earth Defense game coming to PC. And I'm gonna have a ton of news articles I think by the time I'm done with this game. Let's see. See. Keep on scrolling down. 3 hours ago, Strider number 9 aired on my channel. I was very surprised about Strider. YouTube creators retweeting some other people, promoting people. They certainly got a memo, I would say, to promote some of these people. Did VidCon happen recently? That would be my question. Did VidCon happen and the right people talk to the right people, and so now the nepotism is happening? PC Gamer has an article. The Final Fantasy VII Remake aims for quality that surpasses the original. Wow. What a ridiculously low bar. Like, no duh. Of course, you're aiming for better quality than the previous version of your game. If you can't accomplish that, what are you doing? I remastered this game. It looks worse, but the sound is great. Well, it works better. Like, that's not gonna work in a audio-visual media. You gotta get all three. You gotta get the audio, you gotta get the visual, and you gotta get the interactability in a video game. I guess it's a AVI media would be a potential good descriptor. Let's see. Divine Shield, +3 help. Let's just go with Divine Shield. Let's see. PUBG Mobile first major update adds arcade mode and more, according to Tech Raptor. A lot of people talking about this game, Phaland. It's getting too much coverage. I'm hitting the point where I'm starting to have some recognizable tweets and comments, so I'm thinking I might be almost done with the news. Of course, I'll have to scroll back up. Bionic Commando number 14 aired 4 hours ago on my channel. Let's see. Let's keep on playing. Let's keep on hitting the face. Keep on scrolling down Twitter to see if there's any more news. Let's see, play that. That works. And attack here, here. And do we want to try and protect ourselves? Because this is probably the one to kill, right? Yep. Let's see. Yeah, we don't need to talk about every single article that Rand Miller, the guy, one of the guys in charge of Cyan, talking about Myst in the new Myst game. I think we don't need to cover all that. Let's see if we do this and this, and we do that, and then that. I'm just gonna end the turn there. Gamasutra has a sponsored post on how to use Shopify to enable game developers to monetize with merchandise. That sounds awful. Playing a game and having it try to sell you products, probably expensive products. I've been seeing a lot of Wish.com ads on YouTube. iPhone ads, Wish.com ads, and there's probably a third type of ad I've been seeing. There's a like Japanese or Korean game that looks like an anime that's an ad too. Yeah, that one's been playing a lot. It's something like Hokkaido Third Impact or something, but it's a very few number of ads. It's not like you're seeing 5 different iPhone ads. It's the exact same one iPhone ad 5 times a day. It's rather annoying. And I'm getting down to the point where I'm thinking maybe I should just sit through the whole ad and not skip it. That way I can never have to see the ad again, but there's really no guarantee that it works that way. go ahead and end the turn there. And weirdly, I don't think I fixed the double posting on my Twitter feed. I have no clue what that is. Like, it probably is close to what I did, but I didn't do the right thing. I'd have to actually look and see. Though maybe I did fix it, and maybe I'm just not realizing I fixed it. I'm still scrolling down Twitter. Yeah, there's a few things we could talk about, but they're not video game related, like Vern Troyer, the actor who played Mini-Me. Like, I don't believe he actually acted in any video games, so it becomes difficult to justify discussing him. But he passed in what I'm assuming is an apparent suicide, and they're not being particularly forthcoming with facts, nor am I particularly caring to research it. Eurogamer had a well, Digital Foundry had a video talking about how useless in-game PC benchmarks are usually, and it's worth looking at, but I mean, the basics of it is in-game PC benchmarks are useless. They're not accurate, they're not representative, they give you higher numbers, they are advertisements. Sometimes you can get PC benchmark tools for free as like a demo before you buy the game, and so clearly it's designed to get more people to buy the game and think they can play the game even if they are going to have a bad experience. See, I need one more Rogue or Warrior victory, so let's like really cross our fingers and see if we can get this to work. I mean, I guess we could even come over here and try the combo Rogue. But you know what, why don't we just do this? This will probably be our last game. And see, I just started to see a couple of things I missed, so I don't know if I just overlooked them or what. Remember Minute? That was a game that was getting a lot of coverage for about a minute, and that was it. Like, the week has changed and all that coverage just went away. Not really surprising, and I guess that's probably why they didn't spend a lot of money trying to push it and hype it and get a hype train going for that game, is just the fact that it wasn't likely to really succeed beyond the first week or so of sales. Gamasutra has this video, the qualities of making that make for a good producer, from Gearbox, so that might be interesting for people to look at. Maybe not. I don't know how much of the production of Borderlands caused Borderlands to be such a success. Maybe a lot, maybe nothing at all. I would imagine at least it somewhat affected it. And man, I was somebody on Reddit was talking about how they wish there was more games like Borderlands 2, and I'm like, oh yeah, Borderlands 2 is over time only gotten more so the definitive best like co-op RPG experience there is. When you have to compare it to something like when you have to compare it to something like Call of Duty or one of those first-person shooter military games, it doesn't come anywhere close. Although that probably is heavily because of my own bias against games like Call of Duty. Let's see. So I've gone back up to the top of my Twitter feed and I've hit all of it. So just kind of focus and do as much as possible. The ScumVM announced some of their accepted projects for the Google Summer of Code, which I'm not sure how much of this is really even involves Google. And so the accepted projects for the summer will be trying to add better or more support for 2 Pink Panther games, a game called The Immortal, Star Trek The 25th Anniversary and Star Trek Judgment Rights, and The Longest Journey video game in not ScumVM but Residual VM, which is the 3D engine. So if those games get added, it will just push ScumVM further and further from being this thing that runs the Scum engine or emulates the Scum engine into this thing that just completely emulates so many old games. That everything works on it, which is fine for me. Star Trek Anniversaries came out today. Early access, is it? Yes. Free to play. It's labeled, it looks like a card game. Free to play casual strategy game. It's got some nice graphics. It's not any of the Star Trek Discovery timeline stuff or anything like that. This does just look like it is. It's from a Puppet Master Games developer. This first game they've ever made. Requires a third-party EULA and a third-party account. Man, if I liked Star Trek a little bit more, it just did the Star Trek Discovery spin, though. Gotta take points away from that. Like the trailer, though, is not actually what the game looks like too much. The main game is a collectible card game. 47 people playing it right now in early access. I could see people getting into this if you're a Star Trek fan, but the problem is if you're a Hearthstone fan and you don't really care about Star Trek that much, like, it's gonna be impossible to play this. And it says it's coming in April for real. But I guess I'll wishlist it just to keep an eye on it. The game On Board for PC is a cell phone port. It doesn't look like it's anything worth mentioning 40% off for 59 cents. I don't think anybody's going to buy it. If there's a mobile version of that game, I think that would make a lot more sense. There we go. Overload, the sequel to Descent. Looks like the same gameplay concept as Descent, flying around in narrow corridors with an awkward flying style, I imagine. The full game for $25 right now, before it jumps up to $35 when it leaves early access. I think I would be more than willing to risk not ever having this game. Like, Overlord doesn't strike me as something really interesting. I don't even think I'd really have a reason to play Descent. This is just not gonna work. This is just not gonna work. And then Ensign 1, it looks a lot like Descent also. Space shooter flying game. It kind of has a Babylon 5-esque look to it, but I don't think it looks good enough to be like even that $1.49 with it being 25% off. Here you go. Not recommended. The gameplay on this game is lackluster. The controls are meh. Resolution cannot be adjusted. Key bindings and controllers cannot be adjusted. The developer put this on Steam November 13, 2014, and knowing full well he was not working on it and it is not being developed. Valve should be held responsible for this level of fraud. The developer stopped work on this project and admitted as much back in March 2013. So why is this on showing up now? It's because it says it came out April 23rd, 2018. So there are certainly some people that are just running cons. Deal 4 damage instead. Oh, this game Beacon that's launching next week, according to PC Gamers, launching on itch.io. So it's not even coming to Steam, so forget that. Well, I'm playing combo cards, which is what this deck is designed to do. So there's nothing wrong with the deck, I'm just playing the wrong one. So, no real news right now about Hamilton Chu also leaving Blizzard, but I suspect we're going to see some more stuff happen. Well, it's been probably an hour over on this recording. We have one victory to struggle through. I don't really even feel like there's a need to do a silent post show. This is as good of a place as any to end the recording, and I'll just play this last game by myself without people watching. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps. When you subscribe, please make sure to click the notification bell. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening. Bye.